Hello, good evening. It's time for Delhi Capitals versus Punjab Kings. The match is being played at the D.Y. Patil Stadium and the toss has been won by Punjab Kings and they have opted to bowl first. Yes, Mayank Agarwal winning the toss, opting to bowl first. There are some changes for the two teams and we'll take you through them. Shumayan's here with me, but that's the news. Punjab Kings have won the toss and they have opted to bowl first. Punjab, in fact, are fielding the same playing 11 that played against RCB, and why not? Winning combination there for them, and it seemed like they'd got their best playing 11 of the tournament in that game against RCB. But for Delhi Capitals, two changes to their playing 11, and good news is Khalil Ahmed, one of their most consistent bowlers, he is back, replacing Chetan Sakaria, and Sarfaraz Khan is back in place of KS Bharat. KS Bharat was given two opportunities before this, didn't do much with the bat, and in his place Sarfaraz Khan comes in. But very important game for the two teams. Both teams, if they want to have any hopes of getting through to the playoffs, if they want to be in the top four, they need to win this game tonight to make sure the fate of their team is in their hands. So DC makes two changes to their playing 11. Like I said, Sarfaraz Khan and Khalil Ahmed are in the side. Chetan Sakaria and KS Bharat are out. But interestingly, Mayank Agarwal winning the toss and opting to bowl first. It is a ground that is known for some of the very good chases that we've seen in the tournament. The record here is of the 18 matches that have been played, 10 have been won by the teams chasing. So Mayank Agarwal, of course, seeing that record and deciding to chase. Shumayan's here with me. We look at the two teams, what we can expect from today's game, who are the X-Factor players, key batters, all of that for you. But Shumayan, first up, important game for these two. And like we've said in one of our other shows, that both these teams have lacked that consistency that is required out of them to make it to the playoffs. Now, whoever wins today, it'll be the first time they would have won two games back to back.
Absolutely, very similar runs till now, and as you said, both the teams have failed to win two matches on the trot. So that is why they are struggling in the middle order, middle points in the points table, and these two teams, we all talked about how Punjab Kings is one of the great teams. Delhi Capitals are also a good, strong team. But the lack of consistency may be due to issues. Punjab Kings, I think, they made that change of dropping Bhanuka Rajapaksa in place of Johnny Bairstow. That change derailed their season. For Delhi Capitals, COVID and so many things happening. So I think, both the teams, they were very good, but yes, again, due to multiple factors, they had a poor season so far.
That's right. We'll also take a look at their playing 11 before we go any further. Let's take a look at the playing 11 for Punjab Kings first up. And if you see that playing 11, like Shubhayan was saying, inconsistency. We've seen some players perform and some who haven't. Johnny Bairstow finally looking good, but wasn't doing well in the first couple of matches that he played. Shikhar Dhawan has been one of the more consistent batsmen for them, but where they've struggled is with the form of Mayank Agarwal. Finally, him dropping himself for Johnny Bairstow to open the innings with Shikhar Dhawan. A selfless move from Mayank Agarwal, but him not being able to score runs has been a huge problem for them. Livingston has been a brilliant batsman for them in the middle overs. Jitesh Sharma as well, fearless cricketer. Rishi Dhawan, he has been impressive as well with the bat and the ball. Then there is Harpreet Brar. Kagiso Rabada again, Shubhayan, in the first half of the tournament, you felt like it's not the same Kagiso Rabada we saw for Delhi Capitals, but now you see him, he's been bowling much better. Then there is Rahul Chahar again, who has been consistent. Would have expected more from him, but he has been consistent. And my goodness, Arshdeep Singh, I just wish that he would have got more wickets, only because, it's a game. This game is such that number of wickets, that column is what everybody sees. people are not seeing how well he's bowling in the death. He's been phenomenal for them.
I think people are talking about Umran Malik, Kuldeep Sen and other bowlers, but I think Arshdeep with his medium, 130, 135 clicks, he has impressed the most in this tournament. And it's not easy to make Kagiso Rabada your fan. Rabada, being a world-class bowler, is praising an uncapped Indian bowler, and that's the best compliment Arshdeep Singh can get. And maybe we'll see him against South Africa as well in the upcoming 5-match T20I series. So a great season for Arshdeep. But yes, as you said, Meha, I think Punjab Kings players should have seen our shows in the first half of the tournament when we were shouting and screaming that Mayank should bat at number 3 and bat at number 4 and make Johnny Bairstow open. That's his best position. That's where he averages.
And
45.
also get Bhanuka Rajapaksa
Yes,
back.
yes, and that's where in the opening slot, Johnny Bairstow averages 45 with a strike rate of 150. Bhanuka Rajapaksa did nothing wrong to be dropped from the side in the first half of IPL when Bairstow was returning. But then again, now this Punjab Kings squad, the playing 11 that you just saw, I think is the best Punjab 11 squad because you have the batting depth of Rishi Dhawan and Harpreet Brar coming at 7 and 8, and then Kagiso Rabada can swing the bat as well, and then you have the extra bowling options as well. Livingston can give you the overs. Then Rishi Dhawan as a fifth bowling option has been incredibly bowling well, picking up wickets, not giving runs, and then Harpreet Brar can be a great matchup card against right-hand batters.
Okay, so that is PBKS. What about Delhi Capitals? Let's take a look at their playing 11 as well before we go any further. Yes, take a look at Delhi Capitals playing 11. Like we said, 2 changes for them. Khalil Ahmed is back in place of Chetan Sakaria. He pulled his hamstring, and good to see him back given how well he's bowled for Delhi. And then there is, they've always had this problem of, with Prithvi Shaw out now, Sarfaraz Khan coming in. Earlier, it was Sarfaraz Khan at number 3 at times because Mitchell Marsh hadn't come into play for the team. So that position, again, Sarfaraz Khan is filling that in. And it'll be interesting to see. Shikhar Bharat was given 2 opportunities. It'll be interesting to see what Sarfaraz Khan does. But yes, David Warner has been the standout performer. The reason why Delhi have a chance right now in this tournament is because of David Warner and Prithvi Shaw. Prithvi Shaw, of course, has been out of the hospital. He was admitted due to COVID, due to typhoid, But yeah, he's back, but he's not playing today's game. Mitchell Marsh coming into form. That is good news for them. Ravman Powell, the finisher, who's won them some matches with his brilliant batting. Lalit Yadav, Akshar Patel also won a game. I remember the first game that DC played against Mumbai. These 2 won the game for DC. Then there is Shardul Thakur. They would have expected far more from him. And Kuldeep Yadav, again, in the business end of the tournament, needs more wickets. But, none of us is talking about Rishabh Pant as well.
I think he has had a decentish tournament, not the kind of.
But you're expecting Rishabh Pant, the captain, to win you some matches single-handedly.
Exactly. That is where I was coming. He's playing those knocks of 30, 35 at a good strike rate, but again Rishabh Pant, the way he shot to fame, that was due to his ability to finish matches and at an incredible rate. Single-handed match winner he was termed, and with the responsibility of captaincy, this is the different shade of Rishabh Pant. Maybe he doesn't want to just throw away his wicket by hitting sixes, and that is where some of the harshest criticism has come to Pant's way in his career so far, and maybe he's slightly subdued. He's not taking those risks at correct time, but again he has had a decent tournament, not a tournament we all were expecting with the kind of caliber he has, but yes, if he wants to perform like that, the single-handed Rishabh Pant, then these 2 matches that DC have, this is the best time to come
this
out.
is the time for him. Big match players in big situations, this is when they need to win the game for the team. Okay, now let's take a look at the last time when these 2 teams met. What happened? Well, Delhi Capitals simply blew away Punjab Kings. That's how it was. 119 for 1 is, and in 10 overs is how they chased that down. 115 is what Delhi Capitals bowlers restricted Punjab Kings to. Again, that strategy by Punjab Kings of going all out aggressive didn't work for them. And even after they'd lost a lot of wickets, you saw batsmen trying to play aggressive cricket, getting out to some awful shots there. But yes, Delhi would take a lot of heart from this win. And this was an emphatic win, a comprehensive win for them.
Absolutely, and I think this is the match where they dropped Bhanuka Rajapaksha for Bairstow. I think that is the match. I might be wrong, but again, the Punjab Kings bowler wouldn't want to look at the scorecard. The kind of economy rate they had starting from Rabada to Arshdeep. Arshdeep had 17 economy rate, although bowled just one over. David Warner, Prithvi Shaw. I mean, that was one of the best opening partnerships I have had. I have seen in this tournament, scoring 50 plus in just 3.3 overs, then ending the power play with 80 plus runs. That was insane batting, and that is why Delhi Capitals are missing Prithvi Shaw. With the kind of pace Kagiso Rabada generates, Prithvi Shaw would have loved to play against Rabada, and we saw what he did against him in the last game.
Also, this battle is the battle of power plays between these two teams. Like Shubhan was mentioning, in the last game that they played, DC got the highest, fastest score of, in fact, the power plays. 81 was what DC had scored at that time. And then Punjab Kings, in the last game that they played against Royal Challengers Bangalore, decided to break that little record, and they scored 83. So, yes, these two teams believe in just straight off going all out in the power play overs. Okay, now let's take a look at the head-to-head record between these two teams. Head-to-head, 29 matches have been played between them, and Punjab Kings have won 15, Delhi Capitals 14. So pretty even out there, that record. But I think it's from 2020 onwards where Delhi Capitals have been the more dominating one. Punjab Kings having just won one game. But the fact the Delhi Capitals won in this IPL last time they met, that would give them a lot of confidence.
Oh yes, absolutely, and I mean that record since 2020. I think Delhi Capitals, that has been the best phase for the Delhi franchisee since the inception of IPL. And Punjab Kings has always been an unstable side, chopping and changing their entire squad over the years. And the stability and the impact of Ricky Ponting, the captaincy of Shreyas Iyer and Rishabh Pant since 2020, I think you can see in those 4 wins, and Delhi will expect that record to continue, maybe replicate the same kind of match they had in the first leg. And Punjab Kings, I think mentally, if they think too much about what happened in the past, then I think we might see a similar result as well.
Okay, now the story so far. How have their campaigns gone? How has that road been? Has it been a smooth road? No, not for either of the teams. Delhi Capitals and Punjab Kings story so far. Like we said, inconsistency is what we've seen from these two teams. They haven't managed to win 2 games on the trot. And that also just goes on to show how they've not zeroed in at times on, who their best playing 11 would be in that particular match. DC, of course, have been hit by COVID a couple of times. Then Punjab Kings as well haven't been able to figure out their batting order at times. There have been issues, for both these teams, which has led them to win one, lose one, win one, lose one. But today, this is how important this game will be. Today, they have to win if they want to keep their fate in their own hands and not wait for other results to work out for them. These two teams, whoever wins today, will be in the top 4 and will have increased their chances of making it to the playoffs by a huge amount.
Absolutely, and the best part of their journey has been the positive net run rate for both the teams. I think that will be a big decider in the playoff race. And Punjab Kings, DC both have their net run rate in positives, whereas RCB, another big contender for top 4. Not as big as DC or Punjab at the moment, but then again RCB is still there in the race, and that negative net run rate might end their chances of a top 4 finish, whereas Punjab and Delhi Capitals with that positive net run rate might just nick it in the playoff qualification.
Okay, now let's also take a look at how this tournament has been specifically for Delhi Capitals, and then we look at Punjab Kings. We've talked about inconsistency, but take a look at that. David Warner has been their consistent performance. 427 runs in 10 matches, strike rate of 152, average of 61. He's come with this single-minded thing of trying to win the title for them, and he wants to do it single-handedly. There are times when the way he got out in some of the matches and how angry we saw him be with himself, you feel like he's out there to win every game for his team. Rishabh Pant, again, you would have wanted match-winning innings from someone like Rishabh Pant. 294 runs in 12 matches. He's got starts. Strike rate's also okay. but this is not the Rishabh Pant you came to see this season for Delhi Capitals as the captain. Then there's Rovman Powell, who's finished some matches for them, 205 runs in 12 games. These are players who have done well, but they've not been as consistent as Delhi Capitals would have wanted. Then there's Kuldeep Yadav, brilliant in the first half, not getting as many wickets as he was getting in the first half, and they'd want, if they want to do well from here on, for Kuldeep Yadav to be getting more wickets. Anrik Nokia is a disappointment this season.
I wonder whether they should have dropped Nokia and bring in Mustafizur in this lineup. Mustafizur was excellent in the first half of IPL when Nokia was struggling with injuries, and you know, maybe as it is a do or die match, why just risk a bowler who is not at his best? His pace has dipped. He's been expensive and conceding runs at an economy of 10 plus, which clearly is not helping DC. And maybe Mustafizur Rahman could have been a better option at the moment.
Okay, so that's Delhi Capitals. What about Punjab Kings? They haven't been consistent as well. Now, Punjab, again, Shikhar Dhawan, 402 runs in 12 matches for the team. Rajapaksa, so impressive, 162. They all, you look at the strike rates of all the Punjab batsmen, and you know they're playing a different game. Livingston, 180. Bairstow, well, he'll only increase it, 139 right now, but the way he was going in the last game, very soon it'll be above 150. Mayank Agarwal, again, a huge disappointment for them.
Absolutely, I think, and you know, maybe due to the firepower they have in their batting lineup, it hasn't hurt them as it could have hurt them without those big names, Livingstone, Rajapaksa, Bairstow in that middle order, and Mayank, I think, like Rishabh Pant, although Rishabh Pant still has a bit of runs under his belt, maybe this is Mayank's time to, you know, just play. First of all, that was a great move to demote him to number 4 or number 5, where in the middle order. And if he can make the same kind of impact against the spinners, then we'll see the best of Mayank again. And the last 2 matches against DC and against SRH, this is the best time for Mayank to come out good in what has been an underwhelming, I won't even say underwhelming, very underwhelming season for them.
Yes, but Arshdeep, how good has he been? Death overs there, you just missed that. 7.14 is his economy with Rabada. Has been superb, phenomenal, and I wish there were more people talking about him for you know, place in the World Cup team. Not many are at the moment. That's also because he's not been among the wickets, but he's done the job that is required of him and how. Okay, now let's talk about the X-factor players. Who are the 2 players who can make a difference? 2 players who can win the match for them. There are more than a couple of players in both these teams, but we've gone in with Liam Livingston, given how well he's batted for Punjab Kings. And Shubhan, he is by far their best buy of the tournament. He's done everything that was expected of him and more.
Absolutely, and the best part of his batting is not batting in the power play, he's not batting in the death. Still has a strike rate of 180, which is insane. That's the Andre Russell sort of zone which has made him a legendary IPL all-rounder. And you know, even in the middle overs, his strike rate of 167, close to 170. It's insane, the kind of sixes, the kind of impact he makes. He never lets the run rate go down. That is the best part of Livingstone, the T20 batter. And there's no blocking, there's no defense. He just knows, he has a very clear intent. He will target a bowler, he will go all out against him regardless of the result. And that has made him one of the most sought after player in T20 arena worldwide, not only in IPL but worldwide, and that is why Punjab Kings also spent 11.5 crore for him.
Do you think someone will be able to break his record of the longest 6 this season?
Rovman Powell did challenge him that he might get close to 130, but I don't think 117 is insane. That hit against Mohammad Shami, that too he bowled 143 clicks, and to slap that over square leg, I think it will need some sort of hitting to cross that 117.
I don't see anyone
That's the
crossing
second longest 6 in the history of IPL. The longest one
longest
was
would have been Chris
Albi
Gale?
Morkel, 125 meter, Chennai Super Kings.
No, Chris Gale would have also hit
No,
120 plus.
No, he has a Chris Gale's longest is 112.
117, that's That's crazy. That's madness. Okay, let's talk about David Warner being the other X-factor player for Delhi Capitals. Like we said, man on a mission, but how good has he been? You know, there's one thing about a player being a legend, GOAT, but to do it at this moment in his life, that's incredible. And to do it in every match, to maintain that strike rate, to soak in the pressure, all of that with David Warner.
Oh, and costs just 6.5 crore. I mean, has to be the best buy of IPL. The sort of consistency this man has, the sort of hunger he has, and he's how much, 35 plus, and still going strong. He's fit. He's an excellent fielder, a utility captain. When Rishabh Pant needs him, he's there always. And you know, even when Prithvi Shaw. The other openers, Case Bharat, Mandeep Singh, Prithvi Shaw, even if they fall early, David Warner will just hang around there and he will not let the run rate go down. The best part of him is he's a power play machine. He knows how to get those big runs and set the momentum going. And even after power play, he has that cleverness to just keep the strike rotating and keep finding boundaries. An excellent player.
By the way, I've just been given numbers by Atishay, and he tells us Albie Morkel's 125, Praveen Kumar is 124, Adam Gilchrist is 122, Robin Uttapa is 120,
Wow.
and Chris Gale is 119.
Atishay has done a great job there.
Oh my gosh. Suddenly I feel like this isn't a big enough six. No, it is. It is still massive.
It is massive.
That just puts it in perspective as to how massive that six-pack was by Albie Morkel. Okay, let's get into now the key battles to watch out for these two teams. We've been talking about David Warner. The first battle that we're looking forward to is David Warner versus Kagiso Rabada. 8 innings, he's been dismissed thrice, 174. This is, you know, it'll be about who goes... who sort of dominates this one, because both are, you know, David Warner's batting well, Kagiso Rabada's bowling well.
Oh, and one of the battles which can decide the outcome of the game, if Kagiso Rabada or any other bowler can get David Warner out early, then that will be half of the game done for them, for Punjab Kings, in my opinion. That has been the sort of impact David Warner has brought in the opening slot. And yes, 3 dismissals, Rabada would be itching to make that 4.
Excuse me. Okay, the other battle then is Liam Livingston versus left arm spin. He has struggled. 10 innings, 3 dismissals, but the strike rate comes down by a huge margin. 122 is the strike rate. 63 balls, 77 run. Liam Livingston's just not able to open his arms, just not able to hit a big 6, and that's just not the game he's used to playing.
Oh, absolutely, and the stat which I gave in the Hindi show as well, Livingstone's averages the least against Chinaman bowler, and he has the least economy against strike rate against left arm spin, orthodox spinner. So I think Akshar Patel and Kuldeep Yadav both would be hunting for Livingstone's big wicket. If they can get, then well and good. If not, then it's destruction once again.
Okay, then the last one, Shikhar Dhawan versus Kuldeep Yadav. Again, 6 innings, the strike rate of 91. And Shikhar Dhawan, I mean, that's one of the things you've seen from him. The strike rate hasn't been as high as he would have wanted, as high as, you know, Punjab would have wanted. But he's been dismissed twice by Kuldeep Yadav.
True, and Kuldeep, the kind of, you know, he has had a slight dip in the last 4-5 matches, but he's still bowling well, and maybe the batters are extra cautious given the kind of form he has had in this tournament so far. Maybe Shikhar Dhawan, you know, who likes to bat on the rise, who likes pace on the ball, we might see Kuldeep Yadav actually in the power play itself.
Okay, time for us to wrap this up, but prediction time. So Punjab Kings have opted to bowl first, Delhi batting first. What are you expecting?
I'll say Delhi Capitals will score around 160 to 170.
And Delhi Capitals? David Warner?
David Warner, I think, will go out pretty early, cheap, 10-15 runs. Let's see.
Interesting. How will that be? Do you also want to take the points table before we wrap this up? Okay, if we have the points table, we can take that up just to give a sense of what is going on. In in the tournament, and as I can see the whole confusion I can hear the confusion in my earpiece, but there we have it. The producers have got this for us now. Okay, GT right at the top, 20 points. No one can dislodge them from there. They are stuck there. They put Fevicol on the seat and they've said, "Ab yahan se hame koi nahi hata sakta." So GT right at the top, and how good has their campaign been? RR at number 2, LSG number 3. So there's going to be a fierce fight for that number 2 position between these two teams. But there you look at that. RCB, DC. One major thing that stands out for me is their negative net run rate for Royal Challengers Bangalore. Will this come back to bite them? That is one big question. If you can just roll it to the second page, there you see Kolkata Knight Riders have got 12 points, but they played one match, so extra. So that's the difference. But PBKS on 12 with a positive net run rate. And that's why it's so crucial, because this is now going to be a dogfight for that, for that 4th position. So PBKS and DC will really want to win this one.
David Warner is gone first ball. Liam Livingstone
has
the big man.
Wow, early blow for Delhi Capitals. Okay. And this is huge. David Warner, their in-form man, David Warner, the leading run scorer for Delhi Capital, dismissed for golden duck by Liam Livingstone. And what captaincy to start the game with Liam Livingstone?
I think they took a huge punt. I think they wanted Warner to go after Livingstone and in a bid throw his wicket away. Otherwise, why would someone bowl a leg spinner against David Warner? I think a great punt which came with the wicket, the priced wicket of David Warner, that too for a golden duck. A great, when it comes off, it's a great move. If it doesn't, then
he tries to slice it to backward point and Chahar takes a simple catch.
And that's not the way David Warner usually starts his innings. He's a very cautious starter.
That's Punjab 1, Delhi 0 at the moment. Well, that's it. Time for us to wrap this up. That's it from Shubhan and me. Goodbye. Thanks for watching.